Luke Smith is right. The final shape is not the end of Destiny 2, and it is definitely not the end of Destiny. But it will be the end of Destiny for me, and from where I see things, the end is looking shaky at best. I will be adding all the articles related to what I'm discussing here in the video description. The April 9th, 2024 Bungie stream revealed the gameplay for the final shape. It revealed the introduction of yet another subclass called the Prismatic Subclass. This is less of a subclass and more of us achieving transcendence, where we can combine aspects, fragments, and supers from other subclasses to finally achieve a light and darkness synergy. There has since been a lot of online discussion about how Bungie finally is giving its players a lore accurate guardian achieving a power fantasy. A lot of my friends and clan members are also sold by the reveal and pre-ordered the Final Shape expansion. Bungie has since released news updates and articles explaining how the subclass works, what are the new subclass aspects and fragments, and when they will be available. The Dev Insight Prismatic Deep Dive article has since shed some light on the subclass information. Bungie wants us to know that we don't have to grind for our subclass aspects and fragments. This statement from the article reads, "With Prismatic, we want to make an immediate impact. From the very first mission of the final shape, you will have access to a complete starting Prismatic build with a set of light and darkness abilities, aspects, and a full set of fragments." Following this statement is a list of some of the aspects and fragments available for every class, explaining all the combinations we can achieve with the available abilities. They also added a big asterisk at the end of the subclass combo list stating that starting indicates abilities that are included in your starting Prismatic build during the first mission of the final shape. Now I feel this has not been done to keep the existing final shape players excited, but to lure the free-to-play players into buying the Final Shape expansion, as the first mission of every new expansion has been free for all players to experience the so-called power fantasy that the particular expansion has to offer. This is where I feel Bungie lost my vote of confidence, because this is something of a pattern that we as players have seen before with Beyond Light and Lightfall, where players are given a taste of the Stasis and Strand subclass, showing how amazing it could be in the early stages of the campaign. We as players are then left to chase that taste of that full power by running around the campaign exploring elements of darkness to unlock more of that power, only to finally unlock the subclass with high ability uptimes while being a fraction of its original power. This is not new to Destiny players at all, but I fear the community as a whole has forgotten how they used to do things in those campaigns. They continue to explain in the article stating that while you'll start off with a fairly focused initial loadout, you'll quickly expand your toolset and possible combinations. As you continue through the pale heart of the Traveler, you'll uncover the remaining abilities, aspects, and fragments as mission rewards, as well as unlocking them through post-campaign quests and as collectible hidden in the world. Now the problem I have with this statement, and by extension the Final Shape expansion, is that it seems to follow the same pattern as Beyond Light and Lightfall campaign, where instead of focusing on the story of the expansion, we are asked to chase a power that we would eventually unlock completely towards the end of the campaign, with some aspects and fragment unlocks for the Prismatic subclass only happening post-campaign completion. Now the problem I have with this statement, and by extension the Final Shape expansion, is that it seems to follow the same pattern as Beyond Light and Lightfall campaign, where instead of focusing on the story of the expansion, we are asked to chase a power that we would eventually unlock completely towards the end of the campaign, with some aspects and fragment unlocks for the Prismatic subclass only happening post-campaign completion. Now I don't know if you guys remember or not, but in their past articles and live streams, Bungie has mentioned that they were delaying the Final Shape expansion release because they wanted to make sure that they delivered a campaign that has quote-unquote bigger and bolder vision, an experience that is as good as Forsaken or the Witch Queen expansion. The Final Shape marks the end of a decade-long journey for the Light and Dark saga, and me chasing a new subclass power while the main story unfolds to an end would be a disappointing way to end the saga. Here is where this turns into copium. where we can only hope that Bungie has learned something from their past mistake and made it less about a subclass chase and more about the story coming to an end. This hope is not just me talking copium. This sentiment is something even shared by some of the D2 elitists like Datto and Astocross. I may change my views on the Final Shape expansion as more information is made available about the way the expansion plays out. Maybe in future dev streams or gameplay trailers. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Prismatic subclass is going to be bad. I mean, it's not like Bungie has missed their mark with previous subclasses. Both Strand and Stasis are really strong subclasses with insane crowd control capabilities, despite the expansion in which they were introduced in being an absolute disappointment. But the pattern revealed so far is obvious. A show of absolute power fantasy with new subclass, which will later be dialed down after the campaign, just like Strand and Stasis. A gameplay which does not reveal why a new faction of enemies exists and how they came to be, unlike the Lucent Brood reveal. And finally, Bungie giving all abilities in the first mission, which will be free for all players, just like the first missions of the Witch Queen and Lightfall expansion. As of now, I do not share any excitement with most of the D2 community with what has been revealed for the Final Shape. And I absolutely do not mind waiting for this expansion to be released to determine if the expansion is worth my money. Let me know in the comments if you share any other concerns about this expansion, or if you view the Final Shape reveal in the same light as I do. Leave a like on this video and share this video with your friends if you find it interesting. This is Noise, and I'll see you on my next video.